right. Thank you very much for everyone who attended today. My name is Walid Ali Al-Din, and I'm an instructional designer at the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning. This session will be a workshop on how to use Perusal, the social annotation and collaborative reading tool. This tool can be integrated with your Blackboard course. So let me go ahead and bring up my slides and let you know all about what we're going to do during this session. And I'm going to share my screen right now. And these are my screens. Okay. Excellent. Can I get a confirmation that you can see my screen?
Yeah, all good.
All right. Cool. So this is the agenda for this session. We're going to start by going through what Perusal is and quickly see why we should use it if we are teaching courses with extensive reading material. And sometimes faculty members would like to know if their students are actually reading the material. We're going to see how to set Perusal up. And then we're going to see some examples of having assignments in Perusal. And if there are any remaining questions, we can take them at the end of the session, but you can also stop me at any time, come to the microphone without even asking and ask me a question. So annotations is actually nothing new. We have been annotating on the margins of books for a long time. This has ever been used as a personal conversation space, unless if you are giving this book to someone else so that someone else can actually access your annotations. But then you are away. Now, probably they can annotate over your annotations. And this is the entire idea behind Perusal. Perusal will make it possible that you share a text with your students and then allow your students to annotate over it and engage in a discussion, annotating over and over again and responding to previous annotations from students. So that's the definition. It's just a social learning platform that encourages collaboration over text. And the reason we do this is that we know that 60 to 80% of students do not actually read. Probably they do not see a reason for reading the material. They can actually pass the course without reading if they think so. Sometimes they struggle with the material itself. They need guidance. Perusal can provide this guidance from other peers, or if you decide to engage in the discussion over the annotations. They might also need like motivation, like Perusal activities can be graded. And if something is graded, students are highly motivated to do it. So that's the solution. Perusal will provide a social platform for students to interact with each other. Sometimes they do like that. And also Perusal will provide automatic grading, and that will provide motivation for the students. The platform itself is free if as long as you are providing your own material or just linking web resources. But students can pay if you use an ebook from the Perusal library, and Perusal has this understanding or special arrangement with nearly all publishers that they can actually get the book that you're looking for. And if you search the catalog and you do not find your book, you can actually request it from Perusal. They will go and contact the publisher and make it available. Some institutions would like to have some kind of special branding, and this is where also institutions can pay for the service. So let's go ahead and see how we can set up Perusal. Perusal can be set up in 3 easy steps. The first step is that you implying that we're going to use Perusal through Blackboard. So you provision your Blackboard course, and then you can add content and assignments on Perusal, and then you can start annotating you and your students. There is a guide that is available online when this will be recorded. When you access the recording of this session, I will be linking the slides, and through the slides you can have this link. This is the guide on how to set up Perusal with Blackboard. In the guide, they will tell you that you need to provide a set of keys. Actually, no keys are required. Everything is set up for you. Keys are previously provided. So once we set it up, okay, this is like a detailed setup process from the start to end. So we provision and set up the course. We add content to the Perusal library. We create an assignment in Perusal and in Blackboard, and we will show you how to link the two assignments together. And then we start annotating, and then grading can happen automatically. These are some screenshots of Perusal in action. So that was an ebook that students was required to have, and the instructor of the course was using it, and so the ebook page, chapter page, appears in the middle. Student annotations appear on the right-hand side, and like each student will get like a handle like this. Instructors can do something called upvoting. If you upvote an annotation of a student, you tell the other students in the course that this is really a valuable comment. I'm seeing some more participants, so let me, oh no, we're all 7 here. All right. I was just going to promote them to panelists so they can come to the mic if they want, but no one else joined. If you upvote a comment or an annotation from a student, you tell the other students in the course that this is a valuable contribution from one of your colleagues in the course or one of your classmates. So that's the screen in Perusal. After the activity is done, this is how grades in Perusal appear still. This is Perusal will give you a grade book. So this is the entire grade book, and these are the activities that you created or the reading assignments. This is also the average score of all the activities. And take a look at this. So this is an activity called Perusal number 1, chapter 2. And here, this is the same activity appearing in Blackboard as an independent column. So Perusal has this ability to send grades from the Perusal platform to the Blackboard course. So now let's do it together. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is my last slide. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go to Blackboard, open a course, and start linking that course with Perusal. Here it is. All right. So this is my course. In this course, I created a link on the left-hand side and then called it Perusal assignments. You can include Perusal assignments on a section on its own, or you can have it in module sections or module folders if you are arranging your content around their own module folders. Here I just I chose to have all my Perusal assignments in one place. So the first thing is to provision the course on the Perusal platform. And you do this by creating a generic web link. So let's go ahead and create that link together. You go to build content and choose web link, and you click to the web link and to start adding that link. I already created that link before, so I will go ahead and click edit, and it will show you the same interface as if you clicked build content and added a web link. So So here it is. And I call this Perusal link. No one else will use that link except me as an instructor. So your students should not click on that link. This link has one main function. One function actually is to provision your course on the Perusal platform. And you need to have this URL. This is the URL that you will use when you are provisioning the course and when you are linking assignments to the Perusal platform. It's the same link. It doesn't change. Okay. So that's the link. I can put that link in the chat. Let's see where the chat is. I'm not really.
Just so
go ahead.
Sorry, Waleed. Just so I understand this. This is not like Respondus where it's kind of already plugged in to the system, like it's already part of there. The faculty member actively connects their course with Perusal by inserting this web link as a hidden link that is not accessible to the students and checking this box that says this link is to a tool provider.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And actually you need to click on the link. So it's not provisioned unless you go ahead and click on the link.
And then when I click on the link for the first time, Perusal does its magic and connects.
It does two things. Yeah, Perusal will do two things. It will create you an account on Perusal if you don't have an account, okay? And then it will create a space for your course, and it will take the course name and title from Blackboard.
It's reading information from the link
Blackboard.
that's embedded in the transmission to Perusal.
Yes.
So just by clicking on that link, that information is automatically sent from Blackboard to Perusal.
That's correct.
Okay.
So let me go and so I just pasted the link on the on the chat. I'm not sure if we have a an IT FAQ to tell you how to provision your course with Perusal, but I'm going to check after this. So you create a web link and make sure that you click this link is a tool provider. There's something in the education systems atmosphere. There are some standards that allow educational systems to work together and send information and pass information and understand each other. That technology is called LTI, which is learning technology interoperability, so it can operate over multiple systems of education technology. So by telling Blackboard that this is an LTI provider, that will allow Blackboard to send information over and to receive information from that third-party system. Since this is the link that you're going to use just to provision the course, you don't have to create enable evaluation. And you have to open the link in a new window. By default, this comes as no. Go ahead and click yes. Perusal doesn't like to be open within the interface of Blackboard. It likes to be open in its own browser window. And then you can choose to hide this link from the students. And once you do this, you go ahead and submit. As you can see, there is no other information required from you. You don't need to provide keys here. The guide that you will find on the slides will show you 2 extra fields where you need to add keys that you receive from Perusal if you're doing this on your own, and if Perusal is not configured on the system by the system administrator. So if I click submit, that link is now created. And as an instructor, I can go ahead and click on it. I previously clicked on it. You don't have to have an account with Perusal. Once you click on it, it will open in a new tab. It will create your account and will create the course. Before this window, before you arrive on this window, because I clicked this before and I created my account before, you will have to just agree on the terms of service. And then you will be taken to this screen. This is the getting started screen. It lets you probably, like this is optional, okay? So you need to define the discipline of the course. I just selected anything. And then here it tells you when the course will start, when the course will end. You can actually leave this as is, all right? Nothing needed to be done here. But the next thing you need to go and access settings. This is where all the magic happens. Okay, if you go to settings, so this is the general information. Also, you do not really need to change anything here. Nothing in access, nothing in grouping. I need to take your attention to scoring and then at advanced. So this is how Perusal will do the automatic scoring. And believe me, I tried to really understand it, and I only partially understood how Perusal does like his magic. It's magic, like coming up with a grade. But in short, Perusal looks at multiple things. It looks at the quality of the annotation. So that's the quality of the annotation. And it says here 60%. I understood this. This will constitute 60% of the grade, the quality of the annotation itself. I'm going to come back to annotation content component. Another component is the opening assignment component. This is how much the student, how many times the students interacts with the assignment, opens the assignment. So every time the students open the assignment, the student gets credit. Another component is reading component. So the assignment has text in it. The students will have to spend some time to read that text. Perusal will be able to tell how long a specific page was displayed on the screen for the student and while the student is interacting with it. How? I don't really know. Active reading time component. I'm sorry, the reading component is when the student flips pages. Active reading component, engaging with the assignment. It doesn't say what kind of engagement, but it's there. All right. Some of the faculty members said, I will just leave this as is and review the grades and review the student activities myself. This one is getting responses component. This is how much responses the student was able to attract on their own annotation. So as a student, I go and annotate on a certain amount of the text, and then other students come and interact with my annotation, then I will get credit. Upvoting component, if I made really substantial annotation that attracted or encouraged my instructor to upvote it, to mark it as important, then I will also get credit. So these are the main components. And since Perusal knows how this is really complicated, they made their own guide on how the scoring happens. And I tried to read and understand this document. I think if I dedicate myself without having anything else to do during reading this and going back and forth as a student and faculty member, and I will have to invite some help from my colleagues, then I can give you more information on how grading happens. But let me tell you how to set it up. Okay. So
Waleed,
go ahead.
I think Maya may have to leave. I'm not sure. But
Oh, Maya
she
told me
has
that she needs to leave. Yes.
but she has a question in the chat
Sure.
box.
So we have a question here on the chat. I wanted to ask a question before I leave. Have all right. So the question is about restrictions of content. So Perusal has the almost most of the book, the e-textbooks provided by most of publishers. Go ahead and search the catalog for the book, and please before incorporating the book, speak with your department. Tell them that I will use Perusal to add the textbook, because once you add it to the course, students will have a link that will allow them to buy the book from Perusal. And just make sure that this doesn't go against any bookshop policy. All right. Other than that, if you have a document on your own and that document, you are sure that it doesn't have any copyright restrictions, or you own the copyrights yourself, you can upload it to Perusal. If you are in doubt, go ahead and check with the library copyright librarian. We invited one of the librarians like a few weeks before, when we had a CITL launch on the use of Perusal, and she's advising that if you are in doubt, just check with them. They will be able to take the document from you, put it on reserve, and then you can link to the document there on the library reserve.
I have posted the link for our event, sorry, if you want to check it out.
All right, thank you very much, Noor. Noor has posted the link to the to the recording of that launch. Really nice information there. Mark, you had something to add.
Well, I was just going to say, if it's linked to the library reserve, that means it's not inside the Perusal system, right? So we would still have to take a PDF copy on our own and upload it.
Oh, no, you will be able to link it, because Perusal will have the ability to either annotate on a document you upload, or on a document that can be accessed online.
Oh, okay.
And once that document can be accessed online, actually the students have no way of downloading a document through Perusal, and the URL is not shared with the students. All right, so let me go back to the annotation content component, because this is the most important thing when you are letting Perusal do the grading itself. So this is the required number of annotations that students need to do. By default, it's set as 7. You can change that number. These are the required number. And this is the relative point value for each quality level. It has 3 quality levels. So the first quality level is unsatisfactory. So this is unsatisfactory quality level, satisfactory, and meets your expectation, or exceeds, or like this is bad, okay, good, something like that. And when this happens, when the student's annotation falls within the first band, they get a point value of 0, so no credit. When it's somewhat acceptable, they get 1 point. When it meets your expectation, they get 2. Some of the faculty members saw them like they do 1, 2, and 3. So these are not the grades that will travel from Perusal to Blackboard. This is only the grade points for the annotation content component for each annotation of the required. But the overall will be calculated based on the other options. So here, the annotation content score target as 60% of the 100% of the activity itself. So every time they do an annotation, from the required annotation number, that annotation will be graded based on that scale. And then you go ahead and click Save Changes if you make any changes. Okay, let's do, for example, 3. Okay, and then Save Changes. Now, I'll assume that we are done with the scoring right now. We go to Advanced, and the most important thing on the Advanced tab is the assignment score range. So that's the score that will travel to Blackboard. So, and I prefer to do from 0 to 100 and choose that grades will be synced to the LMS, which is Blackboard, in percentage form. So students, with each assignment, they will get their score as percentage. So these are the things that I would like you to know about scoring. And once we are done that, we save this, we save the scoring and advanced. Now we are ready to add content to Perusal. So if I go back to the course home on Perusal, okay, so this is the home of the course that I provisioned. And always look here to see if you are actually adding assignments to the correct course. Now, to start adding an assignment, assignments have to be created based on the library that you have. So you go to the library and add content to it, and then start adding assignment based on that content you added on the library. So the next step is to click library, and you can see like you don't have any content. The content will be shown on the left-hand side, and the type of content is on the right-hand side. So you can add a book from the Perusal catalog, and if I click here, Perusal catalog will open. Okay, you can choose which publisher to search. Look at how extensive the list of publishers. So this is not the list of books. These are the list of publishers Perusal is working with. You can narrow your search by discipline. You can search by title, by author, by ISBN. And if you see a book that you would like to integrate into your course, and this is the text, like the textbook of your course, you can click, and then you can click request title. So your request will go to Perusal and they will reply back, just making sure that you are actually the teacher of that course. They will send you like a confirmation email. You confirm. I did not actually try this myself. I'm not teaching any of the courses, but this is my expectation. You click request title, and there will be a process. As an instructor, you pay nothing. So what if the textbook is not there? You go ahead and request the title not in the catalog, and usually they are very fast. They're really fast. They will you will fill a form, tell them all about the book. They will go and get in touch with the publisher. Will come back and tell you, oh, we added that book into our library. So that's for the e-textbooks. You can let your students annotate a web page, any web page. You can annotate. You can ask them to annotate a document from your Dropbox. You can add a document from your computer. You can add a document from another Perusal course. You can let them annotate on video or podcast. I know nothing about iClicker, I'm sorry. And you can organize your content in folders. So let's go ahead with the material from like documents from your computer. As a reminder, this content should be free of any copyright issues if you are uploading from your computer or if you created the content yourself. So I'm going to click documents from my computer. As a reminder, I'm just adding this to my library. This is not an assignment yet. And I have this here. So this is a PDF. Now it's uploading. and progressing. So this will be available soon, okay? Just converting it to their own format. But once it's uploaded, I can then go to assignments and create an assignment based on that document. I'm sorry, I did not expect that it will take that time, that amount of time, but it's uploading. All right, excellent.
Good question for you, Waleed.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask while that loaded, but it's done. The threshold criteria you entered for the amount of interaction, is that done for all your courses at once, or is that done per course, or is that done per assignment? I wasn't clear on that.
Okay, so that's per course. We were actually setting that criteria for this course. But you're going to see when I'm adding an assignment, there is a way to override that.
Thanks.
Excellent. So now we added the content to the library. And as I told you, you can organize the content you add in folders. You can build all the content that you will use in assignments. Now, let's suppose that I'm done. I'm not going to use any other content. I'm going to go ahead to assignments. I'm going to create an assignment. So my assignment screen is empty. I'm going to go ahead and click add assignment. And then I will have to choose which content from the library I will use in that assignment. I have only one file will appear here. Okay, so now would you like to assign the entire document or assign a page range? I'll go ahead with assign all content. And then go to options, submission deadline. Okay. Now, this is the assignment name. And this is the most important component of the assignment when you link the assignment to a Blackboard, to Blackboard. So students can be able to click something on your course and reach for the assignment. So I'm going to call this probably week 11 reading assignment. And let me just correct this. So that's the assignment name, very important. And I'll make sure that it doesn't have any extra spaces. I'm going to go select and copy that. Now I have the assignment in the clipboard. I don't have to add anything else. Okay. You can make it anonymous. I don't know how. Like if you add it anonymous, then there will be no grades. If it's optional, there will be no grades. By default, Perusal will send reminders to students to complete the assignment. And you can make that assignment available only to specific number of students. Okay, you can go and put the student IDs here. And then scoring, this is where you can use the course scoring setting or specify custom scoring. Okay, and again, this will come. So you can, here you can do the custom scoring. I guess this is what you were asking for, Rick. I'm going to use the scoring setting for that course. And save changes. All right. So the assignment now is created in Perusal platform. It's not yet in Blackboard. Okay. So do you see this? Copy full title for the LMS. If you forgot to take a copy of the assignment title when you were adding the assignment, you can come here and click copy full title for LMS. Now copy it. And then we'll go back to the LMS. And here I'm going to create a new, I'm just going to copy this, duplicate this. Okay. I just need this tab. So I will go to web link. So the Perusal assignments we create in Blackboard, we create them as web links. Same way, the same way I created that generic link to provision the course with Perusal, it's the same URL, but with a different name. And the name should be exactly the same name of the Perusal assignment, exactly with the same wording. The URL, it's the same URL. Just gonna copy the URL. And do not forget to, or remember to click this link is to a tool provider, and then enable evaluation and points possible 100 if you wish. And visible to students and due date, that's going to be used by Blackboard. The other due date is used by Perusal. Probably end of day.
Just to be clear here, every time I give them a reading assignment that I want completed on Perusal, I have to come in and create a web link for that particular assignment.
After you create the assignment on the Perusal platform. That's correct.
Oh my.
Okay, so you create the Perusal assignment in Perusal, and then you come back and add it as a link in Blackboard. If you'd like to add a description, there is a description. Make it available. All the standard Blackboard options, and then you click submit.
I don't know if we're giving feedback in the future to, you know, the Perusal company, but having some kind of system that automatically populates Blackboard with assignments.
That would be really, really nice. Yes.
Yeah, because you want to skip this step. I mean, this is like not a big deal if you're only using it for like a few reading assignments in a semester. But if you're going to do this with like
it requires
every week.
It requires a deeper way of integrating these two systems. This is really working because like instructors do most of the work, like creating something on Perusal on the Perusal platform, and then coming back to the LMS and doing that link by creating the web URL and naming it with the same name. But this is the same with not only with Blackboard, but all other learning management systems. Like I've known how Perusal integrates with other systems other than Blackboard, like Canvas, Moodle, Brightspace. It's the same thing. You need to create the assignment in the LMS using a web link that and the name of the link must match the name of the assignment.
Is it the name of the link that gets matched up by Perusal system, or is it the link itself?
Yes. So when you click that link, okay, Blackboard knows that this is an LTI. Mm-hmm. So once you click on it, Blackboard will send your user information, the course information, and the name of the item that was clicked along to the destination. And the destination is the Perusal system. And Perusal will take that. I'll say, okay, that's Mark coming from that course with that kind of information in the link. That means I need to take Mark to the assignment of that name in that course.
I see, but I guess my question was, there are two fields there that are being populated in Blackboard. One is the name of the assignment and one is the link. Are both of those, which of those is being used by Perusal?
All right.
It's the name because the link is the same thing every time, right?
Yes, the link is the same thing.
Okay.
So this is the name. Okay. This tells Blackboard where to go and send that information. Okay. So this is the destination Blackboard needs to send this information forward to. And it's the same link every time.
So any differences in the name of the assignment compared to what I've created on Perusal is going to result in the students not being sent to.
They will be sent to the course. They will
just to the course.
Yeah, they will be sent to the home page of the course on Perusal, but not to a specific assignment.
Then in theoretically, then what I can do if I find this to be very onerous to put the link up every time. Oh, no, that's a problem then when it comes to grading, because the advantage of doing it like this is that it gets linked up in the grade center then. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I get it.
If you would like to do manual grading, then you can have one link that will take the students to the course homepage on Perusal, and from there they can navigate to different assignments. but then you will have to create the grade center columns yourself.
Well, I guess my question then would be, do they see their results, their automatic grading inside the Perusal system itself? Because it sounds like then it would be possible for me to just tell the students, look, you can keep track of your Perusal grades in Perusal, and at the end of the semester, I'm going to download those. And
they can,
them.
yes, you can allow them to see the
okay.
grades in Perusal.
So this is how I would do it. The way you've been demonstrating is how I would do it if I want to have this dynamic link between my grade center and Perusal, but it's not necessary in the sense that I could just have a link to Perusal with reading assignments, you know, as the
yes,
title or something, and they just go into Perusal as long as they know, as long as there's a guide within Perusal that tells them what the deadlines are for this week or next week or whatever.
I agree. I agree that this is possible
so
as well.
It just depends on how I want to, how much of that integration with Blackboard I want to.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Got it. Thanks.
Excellent.
Sorry, I've got a question here too. I'm wondering if you've experimented at all, Waleed, with course copy and whether this survives a replication from semester to semester.
Yes, I did course copy, and assignments are not being repopulated.
Ick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a totally different system. Yeah. You'll have to you'll have to create the assignments again. You'll have to provision the course, add the content, and create the assignments. Yeah,
Thanks.
Welcome back. So now the assignment is up. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the student view. So I'm gonna see that course as a student. Now I'm entering the student preview mode. I'm going to Perusal assignments. The generic link is not available to me as you see, because as an instructor, I did not make it available to students, but this link to a specific assignment is there. And cross my fingers, when I click on it, I will be taken to Perusal to that specific assignment. Otherwise, I would have been completely bluffing. Here it is. Perusal is opening. Sample article 2. So this is the assignment. And here it is. Students can start reading, okay? They can go ahead and highlight. I guess this is just an image, so the highlight will be placed on, not on the text, but probably on a specific place on the document. And here they can add annotations and submit. So this is an annotation of a student. If you click on it, you'll see it. However, because this is not like text-based PDF, I don't know why it's not populating the place where that annotation took place. But with text-based PDFs, I'm sure you will see highlights. Let me see what happens when I try it again. Oh, I highlighted here. I'm sorry. I highlighted here. It didn't show me that I was highlighting here. So like this is the place of my annotation. Let me try this again. Yeah, I'm highlighting here. So this PDF is not the best example actually, because it looks like it's not text-based PDF. Although I would expect even image-based PDFs to at least give me a place where I clicked. But anyway, we were able to add an annotation. So that was the student, as you can see. Actually, this is my name as a student. So I will go ahead and try to log out. You don't have to do this when you're using Perusal. I'm just logging out just to make sure that the student logged off Perusal. So when I come back and exit the preview mode from Blackboard and go to Perusal assignments and click on it as an instructor, it will log me in as an instructor. So I'm accessing the same assignment. And this is what the student did. Click on it. And as an instructor, I can reply. I can reply to that. I can also upvote. And I can post a reply here. So that's my reply to the students. Doing this multiple times, your students, yourself, if you would like, some instructors would like to remain neutral and do not engage with the conversation. Some instructors would like to go and encourage students by actually participating with them. And this is something really would encourage students to do it if they see you going inside and taking part in the conversation, upvoting their valuable contributions. And once this is done, the grades will be populated on Perusal and automatically synced to Blackboard if you choose that the grades be automatically synced. Otherwise, you can review the grades on Perusal and then choose to sync it to Blackboard. So this is actually the entire cycle of having provisioning your course, adding content to Perusal, creating assignments, setting the grading criteria, allowing your students to go and engage with the content. You can also do the same up until to grading. I would stop now and allow you to ask me any questions if you have some.
Have you seen any annotations of podcast episodes? Like how that would look? Because obviously there isn't like a visual.
Oh,
I mean, unless they're only talking about podcast episodes that have transcripts. I'm assuming it's not.
Can you say the first sentence again? Have I seen annotations from previous work?
Yeah. Have you seen how annotations are being done with podcast episodes?
Oh no, no.
Because it's an audio file, right? It's not something.
I understand, but probably you will get a timestamp. I've seen how annotations are done on Panopto videos, okay, and or Panopto Media, because Panopto Media can also be a audio only. So I've seen comments by students on Panopto Media files, and these comments will come with a timestamp. And once you click on the comment, that puts the playhead where they added the comments. Like at the very first at the time they start typing that comment. So you can play when they like around the same time in the podcast or in the vodcast where they start typing their comment.
Those comments are happening through Perusal, or are you just talking about within the Panopto system?
This is my experience with another system where comments on media appear. I would imagine that that Perusal will follow the same.
Something like that, yeah. My other question is, what kind of feedback have we gotten from students at AUS now that we've had faculty using this for 1 or 2 semesters?
Oh, we had some feedback, some really positive feedback. And one of the feedback, students don't have to, like, one of the feedback is how much students are engaging with that. And if you go back and view the recording of last session, the launch, okay, we asked this question to our 2 participants, to our 2 panelists. Bethany from your department also has was talking about this, and I guess she said that the students actually were interested in going and taking part in the activity, since she was also taking part in it. But more than that, I do not remember that she had a survey or anything where students can actually say specific feedback.
Yeah, sorry. So it may also depend a little bit on how the instructor is using it in terms of how students experience it. I think, student feedback is important, not just, not just on a class level, but also on an institutional level. So we were considering adopting Perusal this semester for our Psych 101 course. And one of the things we did to prepare for that was to ask our previous Psych 101 students during the semester, in the fall semester, whether they would recommend using Perusal. They were not using it in that semester. We were saying, well, if we did this next year, what's your viewpoint on that? This is part of a larger survey, custom course survey that we do near the end of each semester. And it was interesting because for those who had no experience with Perusal, there was a majority support. It was roughly a 2-to-1 margin where they were saying, yes, this would be a good thing to do. But for those who had actually had Perusal experience, it was almost flipped. So it was almost 2-to-1 against, maybe not quite that high, but it was maybe 60-40 against, recommending against using Perusal. And that was a real surprising result for me. It wasn't a huge sample. It was maybe, I want to say 20, 25 students, maybe 20 students. So I'm not saying that it's super reliable, as a piece of data, but it surprised me because I was kind of expecting a little more enthusiasm. And one of the comments, some people didn't leave very detailed comments on why, they recommended against it. But one of the comments that was repeated across a couple individuals was that they were using Perusal in almost all of their courses, and it was overwhelming. And so this is where we get into that institutional factor, where when you've got maybe 5% of instructors using it, it's a pretty good tool for students. But when you have 30, 40% of instructors using it, it may be incredibly intensive for students beyond what they may be capable of doing. And then it becomes the value, even on a per class basis, goes down because they're just exhausted by it, right? So and it's precisely because it's doing what it's supposed to do and getting them to read the readings that they're assigned. But then the problem is we are so used to students really not reading that we assign a certain amount of material. I mean, knowing that many of them are or most of them are showing up to class not having read it, and it doesn't matter that much about the volume of material because they're not reading it anyway, or they're skimming through it or something like that, right? Here, they have to engage really almost on a page-by-page basis if you set it up like that, which many faculty will. And now the volume of reading suddenly makes a huge difference, right? And so I don't have any solution to this. I'm just saying we should be doing some systematic feedback from students, because I can do it in my own course, but yeah, it helps to go beyond that, I think.
It's really interesting what you are bringing up. So I would say probably if the use of Perusal grows at AOS, probably we'll have to create some usage guidelines, okay, for faculty members. So yes, you have this wonderful tool that will enable students to show you that they read the required reading. This is how you make sure that you are not overusing it or giving students hard time. But also, I would like to say that student satisfaction is not really indicative of learning. there's satisfaction about something that it doesn't always mean that students are learning something. It just means that, yeah, they might see the course as convenient for them. That's why they are satisfied. But yes, if everyone at AOS, or if a large percentage of faculty members started to use Perusal heavily, that might cause some kind of resistance or overwhelming at the side of the students. I agree totally.
Yeah, and just to be clear, when we do a survey like that, if just because students indicate that they don't like something doesn't mean we're not going to do it, because as you're indicating, kind of short-term student satisfaction, that's how I'd characterize it, compared to long-term satisfaction in terms of personal growth, isn't, is certainly not a good criteria to use as the foundation for making a decision like this. But my point was more that we're assigning readings, but we're also assigning papers, projects, assignments, other things beyond readings.
Absolutely.
And there is kind of there is a time limit, for students, right? And right now we're kind of arguably, fairly close to what, the time limit that students have. I mean, maybe we could do more, but we're not that far away just based on what we do right now. Now, if we just keep doing everything else that we're doing, now we throw in Perusal, where it's legitimately a lot more work for them. Like if they're doing it in every class, on top of what all the other stuff we're doing, then it actually really becomes an issue in terms of fatigue, and the benefits of the system also, becomes an immense chore for them, which it should. I mean, that's what learning is sometimes, but at some point, you hit a point of diminishing or even reversing returns in terms of the value of this system. So I think, as you've indicated, the way that the professor uses it, I think where this becomes damaging, as you indicated, is a lot of professors start to use it, but they're not really engaged with the system. They don't monitor it. They don't really read a lot. They just kind of I want to force my students to read, so I'm going to put up all these assignments, and then it's all going to be automatically graded, so I don't have to do anything. And then they, it doesn't seem authentic from the student's perspective at that point, right?
Absolutely. One thing I can think of is that you give it a really small weight of your course overall grade. You can also have some kind of a Perusal average, and you tell your students that you will get the full grade of Perusal if your Perusal average hits 40%, something like that. Yeah, something like that will make students at ease. Oh, thank you very much, Mark, for these remarks. And I'll ask everyone else if you have any other questions for me before I go and conclude this session.
I would just like to add to Mark, Dr. John last event for Perusal, he shared his student feedback if you'd like to check that out. There was a few of them.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. And I see that Noor already pasted the YouTube recording.
Yes.
And you can find it on our channel as well. So if you go to YouTube and just search AOS CITL, you'll find the CITL YouTube channel there. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
for everyone showing up today, and hopefully see you very soon.